Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Me, I am wearing the smug expression of a football fan whose beloved West Ham secured an important 3 points away from home yesterday. I am fully planning to call Mike Keogh at C&D Consultancy, Mark Bryan at JBV Demolition, and any other Evertonians I can think of just as soon as this show is over. But before then, let's roll that intro and get this show very much on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It's Monday, the 18th of October, and as that remarkably persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, an Italian bridge gets blasted. Can a building be racist? How demolition and construction are being outflanked and outgunned by the environmental lobby, and we have a monster Komatsu in action for you as well. We'll get to all of that in just a second, but first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days.
Happy birthday!
And it's many happy returns to legendary rocker Chuck Berry, to old school actors George C. Scott and Klaus Kinski, to tennis icon Martina Navratilova, and to action movie star Jean-Claude Van Damme. More importantly, a very happy birthday to boxer Tommy the Hitman Hearns, who went toe-to-toe with Marvin Hagler and lived to tell the tale. Many happy returns to them, one and all. Regular viewers will know that we like to get the week off to an explosive start whenever we can. Well, those fine folks at Nitrex have obliged us by carrying out the explosive demolition of the Cercata Viaduct in Italy. So, as the saying goes, fire in the hole. Now that is how you start your working week. A leading climate expert believes that high carbon buildings are morally indefensible and could even be considered racist. Not like this, and while I hate to be a pedant, I'm pretty sure that swastika is back to front, which probably tells you all you need to know about the perpetrator. University of Bath professor of zero carbon design, David Coley, wants materials usage to become a moral issue with a complete rethink about over common design elements, including high levels of glazing and excessive use of steel and concrete. He argued that architects, contractors, planners, and construction clients must consider building projects from a moral standpoint based on their lifetime carbon impact in a new essay that is titled, Are Buildings Evil? Rethinking Responsibility in the Construction Industry. It says that buildings should be seen as harmful emitters, and that given a disproportionate amount of this harm in the form of rising sea levels and temperatures will fall on the will fall on the non-white population of the global south. Designing and constructing energy-intensive buildings fuels global climate injustice and is therefore morally offensive and potentially a form of unconscious institutional racism. I wish I'd practiced that. That was a bit of a mouthful. You can read more about that over on Construction Inquirer this morning. And I'd like to talk a bit more about this in in just a few seconds. But let's roll this one first, and I'll come back to all of this. On Wednesday this week, I will be hosting my usual No Agenda show over on Instagram Live. As usual, it will be unplanned and unscripted, and there's still a chance I may change my mind about the subject matter. But as it stands today, I'm thinking of talking about how the combined demolition and construction sectors are being outflanked, outmaneuvered, and outgunned by the environmental lobby. Maybe it's because they hold the moral high ground. Maybe they're just adept at using clickbait-style language to grab media attention. And maybe they're pushing on an open door because the news media is keen to be seen to be green. But regardless of the circumstances, the environmental lobby is not just beating construction and demolition in the media race, it's leaving them at the starting blocks time and time and time again. And by the time the demolition and construction sectors react, the damage is already done. As a result, there are now sectors of the media and of society that believe demolition contractors just roam the country, demolishing everything in their wake. That demolition and construction companies are morally and ecologically reprehensible, and that the only solution is to demand a complete moratorium on all future demolition. Or, as we just reported, that some buildings are fundamentally racist. The demolition and construction industries are being portrayed repeatedly as the bad guys. And it's a message that will stick because the environmentalists have said it first and they've said it loudest. And all of this matters. It matters because the environment is likely to be the key political battleground in the coming months and years to come. It matters because there will be ministers and entire governments seeking election or re-election who will seize upon these clickbait headlines and use them to further their own cause. It matters because these issues could define the rules and regulations applied to this industry. And it also matters because the environmental message is aimed squarely at the young, the very people we're desperately trying to attract to the industry. Construction, and even more so demolition, have a great environmental story to tell. The trouble is that while environmentalists will talk to anyone that cares to listen, demolition and construction seem content talking among themselves.
Axoft and Svantec are your high-end partners for noise, vibration, dust and air quality systems, sensors and software. To find out more, visit axoft.co.uk or call 01234 639 550.
If you were here on Friday, you will know that we featured a couple of very big excavators, a modified Hitachi EX1200 and an XCMG XE7000. Well, it turns out, no great surprise, that big excavators are extremely popular around these parts, so we've got another one for you. Friday's films came from Germany and from China, but today's comes from much closer to home, from the northeast of England, actually. So sit back and enjoy. many thanks to the team at Diggers and Dozers for allowing us to share that one.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
Right, look, I realise it's only October and it's way too early to start talking about the new year. However, based on 30 plus years experience, I can tell you that the annual news cycle will soon start to slow. There will be less new equipment. I've just realised the microphone's out of reach. There will be less new equipment. Oh, excuse me, 1 second. Where are we? Yeah, there will be less new equipment to talk about, and thanks to the weather, there will likely be fewer opportunities to actually get out on site as well. And so, I am turning my attention to what I am currently calling Demolition News 2.0. This show and all the things around it was thrown together in haste amidst a global pandemic and a resulting national and international lockdown. Which is to say, we kind of made it up as we went along. But as we enter our second full year of video-first content production, we're going to be making some tweaks and some fairly radical changes. And one of those tweaks is going to make a fundamental change to the way in which some of our content is delivered. Now, we monitor the stats and analytics of this show and our other content closely. Very, very closely indeed. And while coverage of Big Diggers is popular, some of our most popular content is what I like to describe as thought leadership. Others might prefer to call it my regular rants. Whether we're talking about the need for greater gender or ethnic diversity, the threat from the environmental lobby, the industry's sticking plaster solution to an ongoing mental health crisis, or the shortcomings of the industry's training regime, there is a real demand for this stuff. And there's a huge degree of engagement too. But here's a problem. And while it's not a problem for you, it is a problem for me. You see, most advertisers, not all, but most, like to be associated with media outlets that keep their noses clean, that don't upset too many apple carts, that don't rock the boat, and that generally toe the party line. I understand that. I really do. But here's where I have a problem. We have created the world's largest global news resource and community for the demolition industry by reporting the industry on a warts and all basis. Despite that, we have lost numerous advertisers over the years because of our stance on certain subjects, or because they've been leaned upon because of our stance, all of which has set me thinking. I am an old dog and new tricks are a bit of a challenge for me. So while I have no intention of changing my reporting style, I now believe that some of that reporting needs to take place in a different place and in a different environment. So we're planning to put some of this stuff in what I can best describe as a private members club. And I will tell you from the outset, there's going to be a fee, but my plan is to keep it to just a couple of quid a month. In return, you will get access to all this additional video, audio, and written content. We'll all be able to speak freely away from prying eyes and judgmental ears. Plus, we're going to offer some other membership benefits as well. We're still fleshing out some of the details, but one idea that we have in mind is that the names of all our private members will appear in the credits of our video content. Far more importantly, though, membership will allow you to help direct the direction of individual items of content and have your say anonymously or otherwise. It's up to you to choose. And while we're thinking outside the box, we're also considering doing something similar for advertisers that are keen to support our unique brand of independent journalism. So rather than paying for a one-off advert or a series of ads, we're going to offer companies, so equipment manufacturers and dealers, as well as contractors and consultants, they will have the chance to be part of this private members club. This will allow them to interact with you, our members, and will also grant them the additional member benefits too. Now, chances are we're unlikely to be able to release this at scale until the new year, but with the news, I'm going to sneeze in a second, but with the new stream now beginning to dwindle, we will be working on this in the background and we'll keep you posted. Chances are we'll be leaking stuff out rather than just doing one huge, big launch. So keep watching this space because there is some big news headed this way.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Right, that pretty much wraps up today's show. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place, for more of this old stuff and nonsense. I will jump over into the chat in a second, but I also need to get back to LinkedIn because apparently I have stirred a bit of a hornet's nest over there. But until then, stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. And I'll hop over into the chat now, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching. You have to press the button to do that. Press the button, yeah.